Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corner Talks podcast. I have my good friend here, talented musician Chris Condo. What's going on, buddy?
I'm good, but how about you, Daniel?
I'm doing well, buddy. I'm just keeping busy, staying creative, as I tell my guests. Tell people, friends, colleagues. Are you doing the same thing during the pandemic? How are you coping?
Yeah, I'm trying my best, trying to get busy, stay busy all the time. It's really hard, I know, especially with everything going on right now. But hey, I'm doing my best. I'm here and I'm pretty happy with where I am right now.
Yeah. Do you find you're more creative during this time, like of you know struggle or just like the
Like
pandemic being cooped up?
okay, so when the pandemic started, like honestly, it was a hit for all of us. And like even me, like before the pandemic started, I just came back from Ecuador. So that was like my
Oh
last
wow.
big little trip that I had. And then
Yeah.
just coming here and then having, everything shut down. It's like, oh my God. So the first few weeks it was like, okay, let's create, let's do all this stuff. I have all this time to myself. But
Hmm.
then sometimes I would find like a creative struggle where I wouldn't know what to do or wouldn't know what to post or what to make. There were times where I had some days I wouldn't be doing anything because I was so demotivated because there was nothing else to do. Like I wouldn't be able to go outside, go visit this place, or maybe hang out with friends to get inspiration. So it was kind of a struggle, but essentially you just got to keep adapting to it, keep learning new things, especially like during that time. I started going on YouTube a lot more. And since I'm a producer myself, I started learning some new techniques about producing, also some new singing techniques to perfect my vocals in my tracks
Oh, that's
and all that
amazing.
kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I still am actually at this point.
So you've been taking like school like courses at night, like kind of like night courses?
I'm not like actually, so I've been just going on YouTube, like looking at tutorials, subscribing to these people that I follow.
Right.
But recently, actually, in January this year, I took a class with Monthly. Do you know what Monthly is?
No, I'm not sure what that is. What can you get into it?
Yeah. It's just like it's a platform that basically gives out courses and you have to pay for it. And a lot of big like people use it. Like I know Kygo is one of my favorite like music producers. He actually did a class, and that's the one that I did in January for a month, where he just showcased all his techniques and all his production textiles and how he does it. So essentially, now I
Nice.
learned a lot more and how into my own productions and how to do them. So that was
Oh,
a
that's
really fun
amazing,
thing to
man.
do.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
important to constantly, educate yourself and really expand your craft and acquire new skill sets, right? Like that's something I agree and relate to with you on many levels. Is when the pandemic hit, I think most creatives can agree. We didn't know what to expect. I was very overwhelmed myself because I was also trying to figure out this business 94 Productions, and I was nowhere near
Hmm.
starting these kinds of projects like these Corner Talk podcasts. I was just trying to wrap my head around everything, and just dealing with that struggle and dealing with that, I guess, that drive, that motivation to keep going when the world has just stopped. And
Yep.
this is at a time, man, when we didn't even know, because now you wear a mask, at least you keep your distance, and you could be at least safe in some respects. But when the pandemic first happened, I remember saying to myself, will I ever be on a film set again? Will I be able to make this short film possible in the summer that I've been planning for a year or two? So I think a lot of us have gone through those obstacles, right? And I back to what you were saying about taking those courses and learning. Kygo, great, great
Yeah.
artist, one of my favorites, and I know you share the same respect. So uh,
Hmm.
that's similar in your style as well. But back to what I was saying about that education process, like you took those courses to learn from the best, and it reminds me of when I did night school at Rain Dance Toronto for my film classes. Just on weekends and nights and things like that about directing, cinematography, writing, and it's a great way to enhance your skills, right? And I'm sure you've become better as an artist.
Hmm. And I think it's also a great way to keep the creative juices flowing, just to keep like
Yeah.
getting new things as well, especially.
You also meet a lot of people too, right? People that help
Yes.
you up your game and elevate your
Hmm.
craft. Would you say you've met
Exactly.
quite a number of people? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, with the monthly class, I was gonna say like, yeah, they basically put you into these mini peer groups, like up to 30 people, and then like you basically share all the songs or like you process and making the songs. And yeah, I met like I think about five like good people that actually follow and really like my music, and I've been supporting them and talking to them.
Nice.
And actually, what's really cool is that I've actually had some other producers like reach out to me, saying like, "Oh, I see you took this course. Like, tell me how it is and tell me how it was." So like, it's really cool to see that people are actually connecting with that and like asking me these kind of things. And I'm always willing to help someone out if anything. So I really like talking about it and telling them how it is and how
Yeah, it
much they'll get out
broadens
of it.
it broadens your network, right? And you feel better about yourself when you're
Hmm.
constantly, uplifting someone's career, their life, inspiring them to do better and become better with themselves. And I was talking about it in my last podcast about another musician, and he was just describing how his music, he's not sure if it inspires people to that degree, but I was encouraging him on the idea that you'd be surprised, like whether it's creatively, whether it's personally, professionally. I believe, if people are listening, they're resonating with something. And
Yeah.
I've seen your music and how far you've grown so far, so I'm really commend you on that. I think I've seen a lot of
Thank you.
progress, man. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a different tune, right? Like a lot of people, I was joking around with the same musician. I was saying, people are doing pop, R&B, but you guys are doing something different. It's a different sound. And you know like I said, I like that kind of music. I feel it's fitting for a lot of cinematic scenes and in movies. So I'm a different audience member for sure when it comes to that. But but I want to get back to educating yourself in school.
Yeah.
um I want to know, like, did you study music? Because I noticed you're a Ryerson alumni. You
Yeah,
recently
yeah, yeah.
graduated, man, by the way.
2 years ago, 2019,
Oh,
2019
nice.
is when I
Okay, so
graduated.
congratulations. Yeah, fellow
Thank you.
Ryerson alumni as well.
I know, I remember.
5 years ago for me. But I just want to know, did you study music at Ryerson?
Yeah, so basically what I studied was, it's called creative industries. It's like the first program of its kind in Canada. And essentially
Okay.
what it was, it's like it mixes like business and creative economy. So essentially in that course, you get to learn business side of things like entrepreneurial skills, management skills, financing skills, but also at the same time you can mix that and choose which like creative sector you want to focus on, because they have like
Right.
music, film, media, arts, design, all of that.
Hmm.
And you essentially get to specialize in two of them. So the first one, of course, I specialized was the music industry. And essentially like it was more so like industry standards, like how to learn about the music business. So like record deals, event tactics, live event tactics, social media branding, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But essentially when I got there, I didn't know what I was going to be. I didn't know I was going to be a producer or anything. So I know one big turning point for me was in my second year. I took a class called sound synthesis for my music in module, and essentially that introduced me to the world of producing. I had a really nice prof. He was actually a associate professor, or I think a student teacher, but he
Yeah.
was really good and really inspirational. The way he was so passionate about producing all these different styles, these techniques, and just showing me that. I remember I use Logic Pro that comes with the MacBook, and that's when I started getting it and started like getting into it and learning how to produce. And I think
Right.
after that class was the first time that same year when I released my actual first track
Oh,
ever,
wow.
With You, I believe. Yeah, because of that class.
Yeah, I love that track, by the
So
way. That's one
thank
of my
you. So
favorites, actually.
basically, yeah. So basically, yeah, just music industry, just learning the music business, and then that class basically helped me get into the producing game. And then my other module was like printing and publishing. So essentially, that's how I learned like some Photoshop skills and Illustrator skills. So that's why I'm like good at editing a lot of my own artwork and cover art, because most of my cover art is just edited by me. So
Yeah, I
I
was
just
gonna
make it
say
through
it's
there.
it. I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because I was gonna ask you how do you create that piece of content, like those artworks. It's so important in positioning your
Hmm.
brand and how people see it. And you're saying that these are all skills that you acquired yourself and you've put into the
Yeah.
put into it. Wow, that's amazing, man. And
Hmm.
did it take a while to learn Photoshop and those kinds of skills, or?
Like it is still like, for me it's still a little tricky, like just to know like
Okay,
all the whereabouts and where things are, but essentially
right,
like YouTube and everything like has it online, and then I just search up like
100%.
how to make like this logo, how to convert this to PNG or to JPEG, or how to make it fit into this size. So I think it's really cool. And also like as a musician, I think it's great that you have to have a jack of all trades and know how to do certain things like market yourself, design, social media, and then learning the music itself. So I think it really helped me a lot. And because of that program too, I think it also broadened my perspective and how I do things as well.
Of course, yeah.
And
It's sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, one more thing. Yeah, and
Yeah, what's
also
up?
one thing about my program which I really liked was all the people I met, all the networking people. Like for
Hmm.
me, like there's one person that I met. His name's Alex Gagliano, and his name's like on Instagram is the Don Sound, his handle, and basically he's my mixer and master. So for me, I
Oh,
produce the
wow.
songs, but I don't mix and master just because I feel like it's a long time. It's still stuff that I don't know really fully to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
So I just send it out to him, and he basically does it for me. And I always love the way he does. He's very like open to work and also very like easy to work with as well. So I think that also broadened that aspect with just taking my program, and just seeing all these kind of people, which is really
Yeah,
good.
no, it's important. I like what you just said because that other artist I was speaking of, he was explaining how, like, the importance of sound engineer and just collaborating with people that know the profession better than they do, or
Hmm.
the at least the technicalities, right? And
Yeah.
those are areas that you have to strengthen at. And the fact, like, it's kind of like reminds me of me when I'm on a film set. Not that I would be dedicated to just sound, but I would definitely have someone just focus on sound, someone more experienced, because sound is so
Mm.
critical, and it's something I just can't wrap my head around, especially when it comes to editing as well. Still working towards it, right? But
Yeah.
um, I think that's very important, man, because to have that team and sharing the same vision. Would you say you have pretty much the same kind of like goals and um, kind of ideas towards your craft with who you
Yeah.
collaborate with? Yeah.
Yeah, basically, because Alex has been a good friend of mine. We met through the program, and essentially,
Oh,
like, he's
nice.
more of a hip hop and R&B producer, like a
Okay.
sorry, engineer. But he
Okay.
knows a lot of EDM like styles that I do, and that's why he's like
Yeah.
very open. He's just like, Chris, just let me know like how you want it. Just tell me how you want this to sound, how you want this to sound, and then like he sends it back to me, and he's like, just let me know of any changes or anything, and he just does it for me like really nicely and easily. So it's very easy to work with. We're basically in line with our goal, and we both love the music industry and music business. So we're basically both
Nice.
into that.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
amazing, man. It's important to have friends that are like-minded and in the same field. It makes things easier, right? And
Uh-huh.
you become better, right? Because you're always constantly trying to elevate your game with people that are like you or better than you at the craft, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I just wanted to know as well, why did you pursue the dream after Ryerson, after graduation? Why are you still doing music, man?
For me, it's like I always want to work in music, rather it be the business. Actually, what's cool is that I actually interned at two places. I interned at Warner
Wow,
Music Canada for a couple months during my third year in Ryerson, and then after when I graduated, I actually got another internship at this agent's talent agency called the Feldman Agency, which ran a
okay,
lot of Canadian music artists like
cool.
Scott Hellman.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that position, I actually learned a lot about live entertainment and how like interesting it is. But essentially, for me, it's like as much as I love that part, I feel like I love doing the music itself, like creating the craft, producing behind the scenes, making the songs and all that. So for me, like the dream is always going to be there. I feel like for me, music, I always want to do that. I can never let that go in my life. Like if
of
I do,
course.
I wouldn't know what else I would do. So for me, it's like I'm always going to try, even though like sometimes I release songs, they don't get a lot of traction. I kind of like took my mentality out of that where it's like, oh, it's gonna bring me down. No one's listening. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I give up. Like, because it does happen to some people.
Of
That's why
course,
it's
man. It
like you have
happens to
to.
the best of us. Yeah,
Exactly. So that's why it's like you have to shift your mentality a little and be like, you know what? I'm gonna release what I want to the world because who knows, like you said, who knows who can affect? Can affect one person, affect the many people, and who knows who's
yeah,
listening anywhere. That's why, because sometimes I even get some Instagram messages from other people say, hey, like from other countries like India, they'd be like, oh, I just heard your song randomly. And like, I really like it. Like, keep
that's
doing what
great.
you're doing. And those kind of messages actually really motivate me to show that like people are listening in other places and actually enjoying my music, which is also a good
Of
motivator.
course, man.
So,
Yeah. Well, not well.
yeah.
I always say, not to like kind of shit on those people, but you see those
Hmm.
Instagram posts where it's the group of friends or that support group that constantly like is promoting or great job, and that's great and all. Like anyone, my friends do it, your friends do it, I'm sure. But I think in
Yeah.
order to see true progress, true growth is like what you just mentioned, is when you get people from the industry, when you get people from other countries reaching out to you and saying this music is dope, this music is good, because
Hmm.
um, that's a sign for me. That's an indication for me of progress, because you're expanding your market, you're expanding your reach, right? If you're
100%.
posting stuff and you got the same like 6 high school people, 20 high school people going lit, fire, whatever, yeah, it's motivating, right, at first. But let's be honest, we want to reach a bigger demographic. We want to reach a bigger audience. And
Hmm.
I think when you tell me like, I didn't even know that about you, where you were getting DMs, right? Because how would I know? Those are personal messages.
Hmm.
But the fact that you mentioned it, I that's deserving, because I hear your music, you're putting it out, you have the confidence and the courage to do it. Not a lot of people can say that for themselves, and
Hmm.
you're getting that feedback, and I'm happy you're getting it from people outside of our community. I think that's very important as an artist. Do you agree?
I 100% agree. Yeah, because it shows, like you said, it shows progress. It shows that it's actually reaching out to a whole different audience and potentially people that I can actually market to now know that will like my music. So I
Exactly,
totally
man.
agree.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm happy with that. With regards to the internship, are you doing more internships now, or are you going like full force in your music? What are you up
So
to now?
essentially, like right now, like the music industry is like has been hit so hard because of this pandemic. Like I know a lot. Like my internship last year ended in January, And then after February, I took my trip to Ecuador, and then March, everything just hit. And I knew a lot of people in the music industry actually had to be let go because they couldn't support and they had to like
I believe it. Yeah.
downsize the company, which was really sad too. But I'm still trying to find like a music industry job. Like I'm always trying to feel like a digital marketer or something that in like data services. But at this point, it is very competitive. It is so hard, but I still go for it. I still want to try, you know, I want to like have something so I can pursue that in part time, then also have my music as well. Before, because I don't want to do my music full time because it's not at that level where I can't support myself financially.
Oh yeah, of
But when I
course.
do,
That's
I
smart.
would definitely like just leave and like just do music full time.
So are you, yeah, so right now, like with the pandemic, are you just kind of focusing on your music, or were you able to find a job in the industry
So
or?
currently, no, I just work in like retail right now just to support
Right, right.
myself. And then I'm still like just doing music on the side, but also just trying to find jobs, like full-time jobs as well,
Yeah, of course, man. No,
applying to
that's very
places.
important. I
Hmm.
say it all the time as well, right? Like I started, 94 Productions, and I kind of started it a couple of months before the pandemic.
Hmm.
I guess around the time we were in Ecuador. And when the pandemic hit, the same concept where, because I was trying to use that year, 2020, like, okay, let's see where it takes off. Let's see. I'm not saying I'm going to be rich, but what if like I
Yeah,
can make a decent amount of living where compared to
exactly.
a retail job, or because I've worked retail with you as well. And
Hmm.
I was just trying to see a different path, but pandemic hit, clients, vary and they got their own stuff going on and everyone's just really looking out for themselves. They got a lot of stuff going on in their own lives. So things come to a halt, but I definitely have that question every day. And, that's why I ask you as a creative, or ask any creative is, that mindset of you want to do what you love so much. Right. But
Yeah.
there's that elephant in the room. There's that there's that idea where it's like, hey, like you gotta work a job, maybe two jobs. Like I said, I was talking to other
Yeah.
people, and a lot of people our age, we're all millennials. They're like, I think nowadays you need to work like two, three jobs just to find a to find a house or something. Unless you get that real like charter accountant kind of style job. But
Yeah,
how many
exactly.
of us can keep focused and
Hmm.
stay survive? And it's just not worthwhile. It's just not worth our time, right? And
Yeah, I agree.
there's a caption too I read of this other artist, like he's like a photographer on Instagram, and he said something to the effect of, I was told to put more time into my work than my actual photos. And he's like, what they don't understand is my work is my chaos or something. I don't know. It was just something along the lines of, you know, something I can relate to is you're in your job, right? When we used to
Hmm.
work, right? The clothing store.
Yeah.
My mind was always in movies, and you could tell, right? Like I just never was like really that focused on the job. Even for yourself, like I know you were always like, just looking into music and discussing it with us, and I'm
Hmm.
sure in your head you were visualizing your next artwork and just
Yeah,
anything away from the store, right?
exactly.
So so it's like, I just that's why I bring it up, because it's like I read that today and I don't know, it hit hard. It was like, damn, I know exactly what this guy's going through. And
Hmm.
you know it is what it is, man. You gotta figure out what works for you, right? And but I respect what you're doing, and I think with music, you can still pursue, a career or a job, and do it on the side or do it on the weekends,
Yeah.
especially Post Malone, the weekend did it, and I
Hmm.
think that's very important, right? Um, so yeah, I just what I want to bring up next is the importance of also expanding your work and broadening your reach, and you're doing that through social media. And social
Yeah.
media, again, I've seen you make a lot of progress, really capitalize, take advantage of 2020. um, even with TikTok, right? You've been dabbling with that, and it's crazy because you got to keep up with all these platforms. And
Yeah, and it's so hard
it,
sometimes.
it's so hard sometimes too, because it's like I've noticed you put so much time into the social media platforms than you do your actual craft. What's your take on social media in general? Like, do you find it beneficial? Do you find it sometimes can be detrimental to you?
I think it's like, yeah, it's like both beneficial and detrimental. I say detrimental because sometimes you see like these artists, like they'll post like random things, like sometimes they'll post like their dog or like something they're doing, and it'll get so many likes.
Of course.
And then you'll post something that's like you've worked hard for and you show like your actual skills and everything, and it just gets like maybe just a bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you gotta like isolate that, take that away from your mindset, and just do you. It doesn't matter about that. They reach that level. Who knows if you'll reach that level or if you can reach that level. just post what you want. So I feel
Yeah.
like in that side, you just have to keep away from that mentality of like, oh, it's only I only got 10 likes. Like, oh my God, no, I can't do this anymore. But no, for me, I really don't mind. If I get 50, 100, 200, it's all good for me. As long as it's a like and people enjoy my music and stuff, I take that as a win. For social media though, I think it's very beneficial for what you said, like reaching that next audience or like that whole entire branch. Like for me, I don't focus, like I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been posting a lot on TikTok. Like it's so rare and I really need to get on that because right now that platform is pushing so much like content and so much things to other people that I can reach. And like you never know if you can get like a viral video all of a sudden. I think I had a friend of mine who just had like a viral video just randomly because he's just doing
Nice.
it for fun and just like got pushed to like a million views. He's like, oh my God.
That's
And
actually
then he got
amazing.
like
Yeah.
10,000 followers because of it.
Because of that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Instagram, it's like it's kind of like in a weird place right now because like sometimes a lot of stuff is getting pushed out and sometimes it's not. It's essentially
It
like
is a weird place. Yeah. It's
it's
oversaturated,
almost kind
right?
of
Yeah.
yeah, and like I feel like they're trying to push out like more creators and artists to actually like advertisers like pay for advertising so I can
Yeah. It's
reach
been proven.
that like large audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
so I know that it's really hard. Even with I don't know about you, but stories, like Instagram stories, I see that I don't get a lot of views as I used to before.
Yeah. Same.
Like sometimes
So
like you get like
so that's not
200.
us. So that's
Yeah.
not us. You're saying because I actually had this same kind of experience recently where I'm like, a year ago I was like, I had like at the time 400 followers. I would be getting 300 views, on
Uh-huh.
my thing. Now it's like I'm lucky if I get 200, and I have
Exactly.
almost 800 followers. So it's confusing to me how it changes. But you're telling me that you believe it's this algorithm, like it's been
I
changing.
see. I've been trying to test some things out. One thing that I find that's been kind of working is if you use like, the Instagram's little things like, oh, like they ask questions or like yes or no questions or like, like
Mm,
those kind of things. If you put those, I think it kind of rewards you in a way where it pushes that like story out to more followers. I did a
even the
little thing where
hashtag, even the hashtags
yeah,
thing, I
even
heard work. Yeah.
hashtags 100% too. You could do that too. I've been actually, I kind of tested it out and it kind of did work. I remember last or 2 weeks or when my last song "Be With You" came out in February, I
Nice,
did a little thing where I posted my artwork and I said like, "Oh, this is the artwork I made. Do you guys like it?" And I
nice.
saw like maybe 30 people like clicked on it like yes or whatever, and like few people no. But I reached out to like 200, 250 of my followers. And then like the next week when I posted like my song, I just posted like my Instagram post and shared on my story. It reached like 100 people. So it's like I can see that there's a difference when you actually use their stuff to
Yeah,
promote your music or anything, that they
yeah,
actually kind of reward you, which is it's kind of not fair in a way because
yeah.
sometimes it's like you don't know what you're doing, but yeah.
But
But also
that
what I see. Oh no,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead,
ahead,
go ahead.
man. No,
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 it's
go
okay. Go
ahead.
ahead.
Finish it. Okay. I know. I just
Okay.
listen. I
Yeah.
just wanted to say, because I'm hearing you speak, and I'm just saying to myself, very similar. Like I have the same mindset where you post your stuff, and you're saying to yourself, "Wow, like what the hell is that?" Like some person just posted a dog, and they got more likes, or you have situations where people even you find more talented than you, right? Like my drawings, for instance, right? I'm not saying I'm the best at
Yeah.
what I do. I'm just proud of myself because I didn't go to art school and I just discovered this talent through the pandemic.
They're
But at the
really
same
good though.
time, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. But at the same time, right? I'm aware enough to know that there are more talented people. There are people that are really good. Like there's one guy I follow, man. He could sketch you like a snapshot, just black and white, like accurate as hell. And
Oh,
he only
wow.
has 600 followers. And I'm saying to myself, I literally wrote in one of his comments, I'm like, "How are you not famous and verified? Like, are you kidding me?" Like, he does celebrities. I'll send it to you once
Oh,
the podcast
yeah,
is
yeah,
done.
yeah.
I
I want to
forgot
see
his
it.
name, but just beautiful like artworks. Like, because he sketches like me, right? But he
Hmm.
sketches more detailed, and he does real people. I do like
Yeah,
animated
yeah, yeah.
cartoons, comic book characters. So the fact that he's able to do a real life person and bring that accuracy. I just, like I said, I just can't believe he's only at 600 followers. And I know followers don't matter, but I'm saying to myself, it should matter for this kind of guy. Like this, this is a
Yeah,
guy that's deserving to be in the millions, like,
exactly.
getting commissions left and right. So maybe he just started, maybe his time will come. But again, like looking at those things, he probably started Instagram very late in the game where the algorithm, like you said, is all about promotions and partnerships and things like that. I know for a fact that with TikTok, you're right. The organic reach is insane. That's kind of why you see me do a lot of those corner talks, those
Hmm.
vlogs and stuff, is because it's just anything to get my voice out there, anything to get my brand out there. And if they're if they're interested in what I have to say or me myself, at the very least, they we'll take it to another level. And that's something I could advise for you, right? Is I think I could be wrong about this, but when I started TikTok, I thought, okay, I just got to put out like my films, like my clips. And then I said to myself, what if I talk about like things that are on my mind, or what if I talk about,
Oh,
how techniques to write? And I'm saying for yourself, like, you have a presentable kind of look to you, and you have a very charismatic personality. You can kind of
mhm,
just explain to people like about music and what it means to you, but you can also dive into it and be like, if you're looking to, I don't know, to teach them the ins and outs of the programs you use. I think it's
exactly.
fascinating
Yeah.
to a lot of people. Even someone like me, I'd probably watch it, and you know it probably wouldn't benefit me as much because I'm not in that field, but I would still find it at the very least entertaining. Just
Exactly. Yeah.
something new to learn, right? So that's just my 2 cents to you. Um, what you got to find what works for you, and that's something I wanted to mention is if anyone's listening saying, "Oh my god, I got to start a TikTok account, I got to get up and do something." All I'm trying to say is that you got to find what works for you, or else you won't be successful. You won't be happy doing it. So
Hundred
the only
percent.
reason why you hear me like encouraging the idea of, oh, we got to post on TikTok, these little clips, whatever, is because I found that recently, like that's worked for me. Like I just post these little clips and I feel good about myself, knowing that I'm right, inspiring the people that are watching
Hmm.
them. But at the same time, if I'm just like posting just to post, you're gonna burn out really fast, and
Exactly. Yeah.
you could harm your brand like extremely fast. Like if you start posting like, I don't know if you have a dog, like your dog, you're throwing a frisbee. Yeah, that's fun after once or twice, but is that how you want to be seen if you go viral? Like you own a dog? No, you want to be seen as Chris Condo, the
Hmm.
artist, the musical artist, right? So that's how I kind of see it: is just be authentic to yourself, have good intentions, and your audience will find you, right? And I think what I want to say too is, regarding putting out stuff is, I think it sucks sometimes. Yeah, like you put out something that you really care about, you really put a lot of effort in. But Chris, what gets me is the fact that at least I can say I'm putting it out. Like
Exactly.
I did my part for the day, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure you can say the same thing. Like when you're promoting your
100%.
song, right, buddy? It's like, hey, at least I'm putting it out there. At least I did my part. Like I can go to bed and sleep at night. I don't have to like think like I should have posted it, right? Some people can't
Exactly. Or
even
like
make that
regret,
next
like, oh,
step.
I could have been this.
Yeah, man. So I want to get to my next point where it's like, why is social media so important for you as a musician though? Because it can't be ignored, right? Even though we're talking
Yeah.
about it. But why is it so important as a musician? Why has it benefited you?
I think it's more like your brand and also just showing like your authentic side. Like for me, it's like with my friend Krishna, who we both pick, who like takes pictures of me. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for my recent song, I have one coming out tomorrow actually, with a
Nice.
video that I made downtown as well. And I've been kind of doing this theme where it's like I post a picture of like this place where I am downtown, and then like I put a lyrics to my song in the picture, just to like tease the videos coming out. I think it's important because like it kind of shows you for you. Like that's my brand. I really like
Nice.
showing like going around, seeing new places and like taking pictures and seeing like how the world is, and also just making those videos. The videos actually I take a lot of time. I use a Final Cut Pro
Oh,
to actually
nice. That
make
was
them.
my
So
first
like I
program that I used.
yeah, right.
Nice,
And
man.
then I just use that to make it and just like do all these edits and stuff. And it's so cool that I have like these people that actually enjoy like taking pictures or like
Hmm.
filming videos. Like one of my friends, his name's Christopher Rodman. He filmed this music video for me, and
That's
I
great,
really
man.
like the way he did it too. And like we both like love the vision. We love doing what we do. So it's
There
really
you
good when
go.
we bring us together. So yeah, to go back to your question about social
Hmm.
media, I think it's really important just to get like you out there to get your brand. And then back to you saying how you don't want to like overpost or like post stuff that like doesn't really mean anything to you or your brand. You want to post stuff that like you'll find interesting, but also that you like. That's like
Right.
shows you, not because someone else is doing it or this person's doing it, you want to be the same as them. You should
Exactly.
post it because you want to. Like what I've been doing actually, I was gonna mention before was Reels, Instagram Reels. That's been actually been pushed out a lot, to be honest. I've been
Yeah, that's
doing
why I
like
started. Yeah, that's why I
yeah,
started with my artworks, man. I don't know if you see me posting that, is
I
because,
saw them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why.
yeah, exactly your point, man.
Yeah, because like I post them out and like I think four of them I got like 1,000 or 2,000 views just because I just
That's
posted
amazing.
like a cover of me like singing a song, and like people like that stuff. So that, and I love doing that myself. I'm gonna
Yo,
try
I
to
would
be doing
encourage
more like
that.
every week. Yeah.
You brought up something that I'm happy you did because, um, I always tell my family, like if I was a musician, if I knew how to sing or I knew an instrument, I would be posting like covers just once a day.
Uh huh.
And maybe that's something that you could take into consideration is,
Yeah.
just to get you that exposure. So when you do launch your new song or your music video, people are going to be like, oh, he does original music. Let's see what this is all
There you
about.
go.
And they'll
Exactly.
be inclined to like it even more because they already like your voice, right? And
Hmm.
who you are. So yeah, that's definitely something to pursue more and more often, man, is these IG reels, and then post them on TikTok. There you go. And you got two
Exactly.
platforms,
Yeah.
right? The efficiency.
Hmm. Exactly. But the thing is that I know is that I think if you post on TikTok and you have like the trademark of TikTok and then repost it on your Instagram, it doesn't push out your video as much because like
No, I
Instagram's
know
doing
what
a
you mean.
thing where like they don't like that. So essentially just make like a video for Instagram. But like I think, yeah, like to your point, as an artist, I think the best thing you can do is just post covers so that people get to hear your sound, to hear how you are, and if they like you, you release a song and they're like, oh shoot, this guy has a song or this person has a song. Let me go listen to it because I really like how they sound. So I think that's actually a really big and good point that you made about just posting covers. Because I used to do that like years ago on YouTube. And I think I have like maybe one or two videos that like are like 3,000 views, which is hilarious. Because I go
That's
like, oh my
amazing.
god, like
Yeah.
people actually look at this and they like it too, and they comment too, and like say, oh, I love this. What are the chords and all that kind of stuff. So it's cool to see that.
Yeah, the most random people will like reach out and say, like you just said, like compliment your work, and you're just like, where are these guys coming from? And that's what I mean by your audience will find you. Is even when you
Hmm.
think it's not even your best work, there's still someone that might enjoy something about it, or and that's all you need is even if you get 4 views, who knows if that one of those views, it's like, yeah, the song wasn't the greatest, but I would really like your sound and I really like your vibe, and you're marketable. Let's put you in something
Hmm.
else, So
Yeah.
I can't. That leads me into my next point is that to the artists that are not as active on social media or against the idea of it altogether, what would you tell them, man?
Honestly, it's like it just depends because some people like aren't the best social media posters and like
Hmm.
it's so hard for them to do. Like it's not like a bad thing to do. Like it's
Right.
not like, oh, you gotta post like every day, you gotta post every week, you gotta do it. But no, do it to what you can do, to what you like and what you want to post. So if you got a song, promote it. Like I always say, as an independent artist with not a big following, just promote your song like a week before. Don't promote it like a month before
Yeah.
because no one's gonna try to follow you all the way through like till the end of the month.
Like
People are gonna
Justin
forget about it.
Bieber give like a countdown every day.
Yeah, that's right. Just because
Yeah.
people love Justin Bieber, so they'll follow it from like last year all the way to the
His
next year.
following
So
yeah, his following proves it too, right? So it's like, of
yeah.
course you're gonna be like posting once a day. Yeah. But continue what we're
So,
saying.
so yeah, so like I would say like post your stuff, promote it, bring it out to people, do what you can. There's so much out there, and I know sometimes it's intimidating because there's so much to learn from it.
So
But I
much,
feel
yeah.
like it's a worthy like investment and time to actually put work and effort into what you post because you don't know what can happen. You don't know what can go viral. You don't know who you could reach out to or who you can meet or who you'd be able to contact with because someone would be like messaging you like, oh, I like this sound and I like you. Like recently, I think this one guy actually, which is really cool. He's a
Nice.
producer in Toronto, I saw, and he reached
Nice.
out to me. He's like, hey, I really like your sound and I have this song idea that I want you to be a part of and I want you to sing. He's like, I'm gonna send it to you in the weeks to come. Just let me know when you can record it and we'll do it. Like stuff like that. Like
That's
that's the
amazing,
like
man.
one of the
Congrats.
first time that actually someone thank you that someone actually
Yeah.
reached out to me and thought my voice was really unique. So definitely it's like those things. So I would say if the person doesn't use it, try your best to learn, try your best to like understand it, and then post what you love, not what other people want or what someone else wants or what someone's telling you to post. Post what you want. If it's song covers, go ahead. If it's you just like taking pictures around with maybe your music playing in the background, go ahead and do that. Post what you love. That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I see you doing, right? Like I like that you mentioned the downtown thing where we have a great city that there's so much, shots to be taken and
Hmm.
creative expression to be had. And with my 94 collection, my hoodies and stuff, that's where I go downtown. I go Queen Street
Yeah.
West. Like the photos, you have the backdrop for it, and
Yeah.
when I saw your post, like you promoting your song, I said that a boy, man. Like that's what you got to do, man. You gotta go wherever you can, even Vaughn. Like believe it or not, like you can find
Yeah. There's
artists,
some places
you
here
know.
too.
Of course. So I think it's about being creative and resourceful that way. And I'm really happy for you that that guy reached out because I always like to see like friends and people that I believe that are truly talented prosper. Because I'm always wondering too, like why is no one paying attention to this song? Like that song you sent me, with you, right? Uh,
Yeah.
a while back. Yeah, like I put
Hmm.
it to that video. Do you remember I put it to like that video?
Oh, I sent two. I sent "Let You Go" and then I forgot the other one. It was "Let You Go" and then there was one more I put too as
Yeah.
well. That you did the video for me too that I
There was
really
one
like.
I did a video, and that was a video like I found like someone else, and I just thought it fitted better with your music. It was like a
Oh, I
cabana.
know. I
Yeah.
by Lar Comigo. That was with my friend Jared, J Swish and Cashflow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
Yeah,
which one. Now I
it
remember.
was
That
so
was a
well
sick
done,
video. I
man.
like that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
well done. It was really well done, your song though, and that video was just something I found, but I just thought it suited the vibe and what you were going for.
The vibe.
So that's why I put it together, and I just tried to give you like an idea of like what your song could be, and the capability of it, right? So I'm glad you
Hmm.
enjoyed it. It was really fun to make, and I always say this, like when I'm doing promos or down the line, if I can find a song of yours that fits, like I'd be happy to like promote it that way,
I
right? Because
love
we
that
both
too.
win. Yeah, we can
Because
always
then it gives me a
collab
new
too.
insight to the song. Yeah, that's why I'm
Yeah,
always down.
and
It's
we can
always
always
cool to see
collab
that.
too. Like if you ever have like a video in mind, or a photo that that needs to be taken and stuff like that. I think it's important that we all collaborate as creatives, people that
Uh-huh.
basically people that we kind of like respect and we know. Yeah, it's the hardest thing to like reach out and what I mean, like just kind of broaden that network sometimes.
I know,
But
because sometimes it's because sometimes you don't get a response back, or like sometimes you don't say anything, or like
you also
it's
trust
always
each
those
other's
things where it's
vision.
like, no,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So speaking of like social media and things like that, I see you posting a lot about Clubhouse. What
Yeah.
it's picking a lot of momentum, more and more users taking advantage of the platform, including yourself. Why are you enjoying Clubhouse so much? What are the
Like I
benefits of it,
haven't
right?
like for me, it's like I haven't used it so much except for like because basically how I got it was one of my friends, Cashflow. He
Okay,
sent me. He's like, "Hey Chris, like this girl, her name's Didi Vaughn. She's basically hosting every Friday like art. It's called Artists Supporting Artists, and essentially
nice,
in that group, we just discuss like new marketing strategies, how we release our music, how we do these kind of things in on Instagram, on social media, how we can build our own platform." And it's really nice because it's just like maybe five or six of us. Sometimes we get some random guests and followers on it too that join us too. Like actually a real good point too. We actually 2 weeks ago we had this guy who was a music manager that D Divan knew that joined in. He managed a few artists in marketing in the Indonesian and Asian markets over there.
nice.
And he made a good point how he's like, you know what iRig is?
No, no idea, man.
I think it's
iRig?
this thing where you can, yeah, iRig. I think it's
Never
something where
heard
you
of
could
it.
connect your phone and then like you can like play like audio but like really nicely, like high quality
Oh wow.
into like, and so like people can hear. So he
Oh,
was
so if you're
basically saying
sending
like,
it like to like
yeah, yeah,
demos
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff? Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, that's why he's like, you should like get one because he's like, you never know who you're gonna meet in these kind of chats and who you're gonna be listening up or who wants to listen to your music. Cause like he's like, what if like a manager comes in, he's like, oh, I'm looking for artists, and you're like, okay, let me connect this thing, let me show you my song. You
Yeah,
show it and it pops up. He's like, hey, I really like it. I want to work with you. I want to market you. Let's do that. So that was a really good point that he made, and I really
nice.
liked the insight that this guy brought in, which was really cool. So I think Clubhouse is such an amazing platform just to like join in on like chats, hear people talk. Like it's not just music, it's like life advice, dating advice, even, or like
Yeah, I heard.
fashion, food, all that kind of stuff. And it's so cool just to like join in these like random people talking about just how they do things in the world and how, and all their insights. It's just amazing. The
And
only
people just
downside though
jump.
I see is that
Yeah,
like
what's up?
I was like the only downside is
So
just
no
I see
worries.
that it's only for iPhone users.
Oh,
Like
really?
Samsung users can use it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's so
And like
funny, man.
in order to like get into it, you have to get like a code from someone else to be able to
Yeah,
use the
an
app.
invite I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, an invite. That's what it is. That's the only like downside I see. So hopefully it'll like branch out to like Android users. Maybe because it's just a test out for now.
If
But
it's gonna be,
hopefully, but
yeah, if it's gonna be something, I can see. I don't see that lasting. Like they're gonna branch out. They're gonna say anyone can join, right? But
they
right now
have
they
to
just want that
exactly.
exclusivity. It's smart. I think it's smart tactic. Like the people that founded it know that it won't last forever. That whole you got to invite them to join. But people like the idea that they're part of something that it's important. Like they feel important,
Yeah,
right? So I think it's
exactly,
that notion. Like even me, I was like, oh, I have an iPhone, I could do it. But if I didn't have a Samsung, I'd be like felt feeling left out, right? Or feeling like I
exactly.
need to
Yeah.
go on it.
Hmm.
So I think it's very ingenious what they're doing over there. So yeah, man, I'm glad you're on it. I'm glad you're trying new platforms, man. I think it's very important, uh, to constandly be learning, as we
100%.
said at the beginning of
Yeah.
the conversation, man. And like I said, I'm looking forward to more of your projects. And if you ever need me to come on board and help you out with some of them, or
100%. Yeah, I
help you
love it.
promote, come on the
Hmm.
podcast, photo shoot, video, you got me. All right. So,
Yeah.
having said that, man, really appreciate you coming on the podcast and discussing your journey. Plan to do more of these.
Anytime.
Yeah, man. And I'm looking forward to this new song. What's it called, by the way, for people
It's
listening?
basically, yeah, let me explain it. So basically tomorrow comes out, so it's gonna be a video. And essentially it's just my last song, Be With You, but I slowed it down and I also just added some extra like reverb and like effects just to make it sound a little different. And it's really cool where I got the idea because I saw that on YouTube there was a
Hmm.
lot of songs. Like, do you know what nightcore is?
Nightcore, no.
So basically,
What's that?
nightcore is essentially basically when you take a song and you speed it up really fast and then you change
Okay.
the pitch of it so it sounds really high.
Mm.
But like now they kind of reverse it where they slow it down and then they make like reverb so it adds like a different sound. So I was like, I saw on YouTube that there were a couple videos and like little songs that people were posting and they had like 30 million views, 40 million views. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, people are actually listening to this stuff. And
Yeah.
even on TikTok too, I see some things. Like, I think Coldplay Yellow, I think someone slowed down the version. I think it got a lot of views too on TikTok. So I was like, you know what? I tried it to my song and I'm like, yo, it gives like a whole new vibe to the track and it makes me like
Yeah.
think differently about it. So I was like, you know what? Let me give this out as like an extra piece of content and something just to market for the month of March,
Of course.
and I just wanted to try it out. And I'm like, you know what? I think the song deserves somewhat of a video and a little story behind it. So
There you go, man.
that's what's gonna be going on tomorrow. I'm still gonna work on it today. I just got like one little piece to fix on the video and then
Yeah,
after
yeah,
it
yeah.
should be good to go. But yeah, so
Is
Be
there a
With
name for
You,
this
slowed
song?
and reverb. Yeah, it's gonna be called Be With You
Oh,
in
Be With You.
brackets, slowed and reverb. That's it.
Perfect. So
So
check
it's like
that
its
out,
own
guys.
remix.
It'll
Thank
be
you.
available probably by the time this is published. So check
Yeah.
out Chris Condo on his Instagram, on
Thank
TikTok
you.
as well, Chris Condo. And yeah,
Beautiful.
stay tuned for this very talented artist. He has a lot of great songs coming your way. All right.
Thank you so
So
much, Daniel.
until then, yeah, we'll talk soon. Okay, man.
Yeah, will do.
Take care, man.